I don't know what the future holds. I do know what's going on. There's no recipe, there's no history for this kind of development, so I don't see how anybody can be confident that they know what it means. I think these economies will slow down. I think that there probably has been a synergistic effect on the UK and Europe from membership in the EU, and they'll probably each produce a little less on their own than they would have produced together. I also think there will be a psychological effect as people pull in their horns and spend less and invest less. But I'd be surprised to learn that this is a long-term fundamental negative for these countries.
Why do you say that?
Well, I just think that, the reaction is very strong in the markets, but the question is, are people going to live differently? Are people going to produce less, and are people going to buy less? And I think it was once you who told me, Eric, that even when there are crashes outside in the stock exchange, the people outside are still buying hot dogs. And so, other than psychological contagion, which should not be underestimated, I don't think that this is a fundamental catastrophe. Now, I do think that there will be very strong societal and political and geographic ramifications, but I have trouble viewing it as a financial catastrophe.
Okay, if it's not a financial catastrophe and fundamentally over the medium to long term things are going to be okay, I'm paraphrasing you here, yet at the same time, as you pointed out before, confusion, which I'm going to translate to uncertainty, should be the order of the day. What's the logical thing to do for an investor? Sell first and ask questions later?
Well, that doesn't sound like a very clever or stable position. There's an old saying that I've heard for many, many decades, as long as I've been in this business, that the markets abhor uncertainty. And they do. But I think that doesn't make them necessarily correct in their abhorrence. So what it means is that when uncertainty rises, people get uncomfortable, and yes, they do sell. But that doesn't not make them right. And I don't see why increased uncertainty in itself makes selling the right thing to do. It's always a matter of what are you selling, at what price, what are the things that might happen, what are their probabilities. And the mere fact that uncertainty has increased doesn't mean that it's time to sell.
Is that to say how